Hey YouTube fam, welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. We're gonna jump into another spicy Vinyasa yoga practice, but I wanted to chat with you through a couple of quick things first. First up, I'm getting ready to host an April yoga challenge inside the Kula. The Kula is my membership website where I upload typically 3 new classes per week, but for the month of April, there will be an upload every single day for the whole month. And at the end of the month, someone wins a spot to a yoga retreat next year, and 2 people win annual memberships to the Kula. I created a code, YouTube Fam, for anyone from my YouTube fam to join in for half off. All you have to do to participate is join in for a membership for the Kula. You're welcome, of course, and encouraged and invited to stay longer than the month of the April challenge, but it's also totally fine if you just want to join in for the month and then cancel your membership after that. No worries there. All you have to do to participate is have a membership for the duration of April 1st to April 30th. There's more information inside the Kula, so let me know if you have questions here as well. You can put them in the comments and I will make sure to respond. The other thing just to mention is I'm in a new space. The Kula is growing and I now have a new studio space as well as the one that you all are familiar with already. You'll still see videos coming from there as well, but I am loving this new space and really enjoying my time filming in here. So welcome, and let's go ahead and get started in a child's pose. Walk the knees wide and the big toes together. Send the hips back to the heels and walk the arms out long in front of you. Grounding finger pads and knuckle pads into the mat. And as you sink the hips even a little closer to the heels, you might inch the fingers a little bit farther out in front of you so that you're encouraging length down the side bodies. Take a really big inhale, filling up. Open the mouth, exhale, let it go. Keep the left arm extended out long in front of you exactly as it is. On your exhale, thread the right arm underneath you so that the right shoulder and the right ear come to the floor, and then walk the left fingertips a little bit farther out in front of you. You might even lift the left palm from the floor so you're coming up just onto the fingertips, and then press into the fingertips to invite the hips a little bit farther back. Stay rooted in the left fingertips. On your inhale, we're going to unthread the right arm and open the chest to the right a bit. So like you could stack the right shoulder on top of left, but keep pulling left armpit down towards the floor. And then reach right arm out long in front of you. Maybe you come up onto fingertips as you exhale. Left arm threads underneath, left shoulder and left ear reach for the mat. As much as you can, softening into the shape. So without holding yourself up here at all, let the weight of your body rest onto the left arm, inviting opening around the left shoulder, maybe into the muscles throughout the left rib cage. Again, you might come up onto the right fingertips if you're not there yet, lifting the right palm. And then as you take your next inhale, we'll unwind, twisting open to the left. So lifting the upper body a bit and see if you can peel the left shoulder to stack on top of right or work towards it. As you continue to invite the right armpit down towards the floor, this is a pretty active shape. Unravel both hands back to the mat. Sink the palms to the floor as you round to the back body, shift forward, tabletop position. Walk the knees underneath the hips. Puppy pose. Keep the knees under the hips as you take a big step forward with the hands and melt the heart down towards the floor. So bringing the gaze forward towards the thumbs. So the idea in this shape is that the chest, hypothetically, would reach the floor before the chin would. And take an inhale here, maybe a little bit of a lift from the back body, from the space of the back of the heart. Then as you exhale, sink the chest a little bit closer to the floor. As you take your next inhale, walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. This time shifting back to your fingertips so that the palms lift, but now round through the back body, tucking the tailbone down. Chin pulls in towards chest. Back of the heart reaches up towards the sky. Drop the palms back down to the mat. On your inhale, open the right fingertips up towards the sky. Right shoulder to stack on top of the left. On your exhale, thread the right arm underneath you, right shoulder, right ear to the mat. This time, 1 breath per movement. Inhale, open it all the way back up. Right shoulder to stack. Exhale, right arm threads underneath. In breath, one more time, open up. Exhale, thread the right arm through, right shoulder, right ear to the mat. In breath, open back up. This time pausing at the top. We're going to keep the heart open to the right as we slide the right toes back and spin the right foot parallel to the back edge of the mat, opening up the hip. Reach the right hand towards the top of the mat. So we're lengthening out down the entire right side of the body, finding this kind of supported side plank shape. On your next exhale, we're going to stay grounded in the left knee and the left hand as they are. Pull the right knee and the right elbow towards each other. And then extend right leg and right arm long. Right knee, right elbow towards each other. In breath, extend. This time keep the right arm long. Start to pull the right knee up towards right armpit. Take a big step with the right foot all the way to the top of the mat. We're landing in a twisted lunge. Open the heart up. So leaning the right shoulder to the space behind you. And then start to take some big circles with the right arm. So mobilizing at the shoulder girdle. Big circles in one direction. And then swap it out. Roll it out in the other direction. Next time the right arm is extended up and over, pause there. As you exhale, circle the right hand to frame out the right foot as you straighten out through the right leg, half split, Ardha Hanumanasana. Right toes pull back, right hip pulls back. Think of tractioning the crown of the head towards the front of the room, and then exhale, soften the heart a little closer towards right thigh. Next, inhale, bend into the right knee, Anjaneyasana. Upper body lifts, palms come to touch. Open up the heart. So think of lifting up and out of the waist. As you exhale, cactus out the arms, pulling the elbows towards the hip bones as the shoulder blades slide down the back side of the upper body. On your in-breath, hands frame out the right foot. Keep the left knee grounded. Kick the right toes back. Three-legged table. Circle out the right ankle here. Switch direction of your circles. Tuck onto the left toes. Lift the left knee to a hover above the mat. Continue to circle out the right ankle. Press the floor away from you with the hands. We're going to keep the left knee to a hover as you pull the right knee and drop the right toes. So both feet are to the mat. Both knees are to a hover. You're in a floating tabletop position. Pausing here for a couple cycles of breath. So again, you're pressing floor away from you with the hands so that you're staying lifted up out of the shoulders. Slight tuck of the tailbone, rib cage pulls in, core is strong. Take an in-breath and an out-breath. One more inhale here. As you exhale, soften the knees to the floor. Ground into the right hand, left fingertips open up towards the sky. Think of stacking the left shoulder on top of the right shoulder and really peeling the heart open. With the breath a couple of times, exhale, thread the left arm underneath you so the left shoulder and the left ear work their way towards the mat. In breath, open up. Left hand reaches towards sky. Exhale, thread through left shoulder, left ear to the mat. In breath, open. Exhale, curl in. Last time, inhale, open up, pause at the top. So pausing with the left shoulder to stack on top of the right. So this is a pretty active twist here. You're working the left shoulder open via the strength of the core and pressing the floor away from you with the right hand. Keep everything else the same as you slide the left toes back. Peel the left hip open and spin the left foot flat, parallel to the back edge of the mat. Extend the left arm forward towards the top of the mat. Continue to roll the left shoulder open on top of the right. Left palm is facing down towards the mat. Take an in-breath here. As you exhale, left knee and left elbow come towards each other to tap. In breath, extend long. Keep the left foot floating. Exhale, curl in. Left knee, left elbow to tap. In breath, extend long. Keep the left arm long. Keep the left shoulder open. Pull the left knee back in towards left armpit. This time stepping the left foot all the way to the top of the mat. So we're landing in our twisted low lunge. Might take a couple steps to get there with the left foot. When you do land, let the left shoulder roll open into the space behind it as you continue to reach long through the left fingertips. Once you've landed into this shape, big circles with the left arm. Big circles in one direction, finding your full range of motion. So don't be shy with these circles. And then switch direction. Roll it out the other way. Find your way back through center with the left arm extended up and over. And then as you exhale, straighten out through the left leg. Hands frame out the left foot. Half split Ardha Hanumanasana. Pull the left toes back towards you. Left hip is invited back, so it's kind of in line, or working towards in line with the right. Take a big inhale, fill up. A big exhale, soften in. One more cycle of breath here. You might drop the head, inviting the chin in towards the chest, maybe even looking towards the belly button a bit here. As you're ready, on an inhale, rebend into the left knee, Anjaneyasana. Send the hips turn forward as the upper body lifts. Palms come to touch, lift up and out of the waist, as much or as little of a back bend as feels supported here. So we're opening up the spine, we're lengthening out the belly, but also we're sending the hips forward to encourage length down the front of the right hip. Take one more inhale. As you exhale, hands frame out the left foot at the top of the mat. Keep the right knee grounded, kick back, three-legged table. Left foot flexes out. Take a circle with the left ankle. And by a circle, I mean lots of circles. And then switch direction of the circles. Tuck onto the right toes if you're not there yet. Get strong through the core, engaged into the core as you hover the right knee just an inch above the mat. Pull the left knee in, dropping left toes next to right, both knees to a hover. This time keeping the hover, move through a couple cycles of cat-cow. In breath, open the collarbones, lift tailbone, lift gaze. Exhale, curl in, round through the back body. In breath, open. Exhale, close. One more time. In breath, broaden through the collarbones and feel the tailbone to sky. Exhale, round in and pause. Start to pull the hips back towards the heels. Keep the bend into the knees. Pulling heart back towards thighs and then ground into finger pads and knuckle pads as you let the hips lift, straightening out their legs. Downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet here. So you're bending into one knee and then the other knee. Shifting hips side to side. And here with a big inhale through the nose. And a big exhale, let it go. On your next in-breath, sweep the right toes high. Bend into the knee, open up the hip. Think of pointing the right knee towards sky. As you exhale, curl in, right knee to nose. Step the right foot all the way through. Left hand stays down as you reach the right fingertips forward and then up and over, twisting to the right. Right shoulder stacks on top of left. This time, ground into the right heel as you lift the upper body. Keep the twist to the right. Send the right kneecap forward a bit as you shift the entire upper body back just a little. Soften the left knee to a hover above the mat. Squeeze the right heel back and the left toes forward. Now with your next exhale, twist even a little deeper with the upper body. As you soften the left knee to the floor, right hand reaches back for the left shin, thigh. Maybe you get to the ankle, maybe not. Left fingertips reach up and over. Maybe on this last exhale, you send the hips a little bit farther forward. Refill the lungs. In breath. As we release the shape, both hands frame out the right foot. Straighten out through the right leg, half split. Right toes pull back. Right hip pulls back. Take an in-breath here. As you exhale, rebend into the right knee. Step forward. Uttanasana, forward fold. Clasp opposite elbows. Find a sway here, side to side. Dropping the weight of the head. Maybe shake the head, yes, no. Rolling out the back of the neck a bit. And find your way back through neutral. So fingertips make their way to the mat. Use your inhale to halfway lift. Open the mouth. Exhale, let it go. In breath, roll to stand. One vertebrae at a time. Brings you all the way up. Arms circle up and over at the top. Bring the palms to touch the gaze up to the fingertips. As you exhale, cactus out the arms, open up through the heart. Strong engagement in the glutes to protect the low spine. In breath, come back up, tall spine, arms reach up and over. As you exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. As you exhale, fold, plant the hands, step back, find your plank pose, wrists underneath the shoulders. Take some circles with the wrists, rolling out in one direction. And then swap it out. Roll it out in the other. Find your way back through neutral, bend into the elbows, lower halfway, hover, knees can drop if you need them to. Holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower all the way to the belly. Untuck the toes, bring the hand wider than the mat as you tent out the fingertips. Engage into the glutes as you inhale, lift the heart. Shoulders roll on the back body, shoulder blades reach for each other. Take an in-breath here, get a little taller through the crown of the head, and then as you exhale, roll the heart back down to the floor. Slide the hands underneath the shoulders, tuck onto the toes. Okay, knees can be down or they can lift here. We're gonna lift back up to our chaturanga, which means halfway up. Press into finger pads, knuckle pads, lift halfway, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2. Plank pose all the way up. From the tailbone, roll the hips back, downward facing dog. In breath, sweep the left toes high. Bend the knee, open up the hip, pointing left knee towards ceiling as you squeeze the heel in towards glutes and shift the left shoulder down. Exhale, round through the back body as you shift forward, left knee to nose, step the left foot all the way through. Right hand stays grounded as you circle left fingertips forward first and then up and over, rolling left shoulder to stack on top of the left fingertips reach towards the sky. Sorry, left shoulder to stack on top of right, and then grounding into the left heel. Start to get lighter in the right hand. As you're ready for it, come all the way up to stand. Keep the twist to the left. So using the strength of the core to rotate the entire upper body over to the left. Send the left kneecap a little farther forward by bending into the left knee. Now bend into the right knee, dropping the knee just to a hover above the mat. Think of squeezing the feet towards each other on the mat. One more exhale to twist a little deeper with the upper body. Get tall through the crown of the head as you soften right knee all the way to the mat. Left hand reaches back towards the right ankle or foot, or maybe even the thigh here. Right fingertips reach up and over. As you exhale, send the hips a little closer to the top of the mat. Left kneecap reaches forward. Lift up and out of the waist, reaching right hand towards the space above and behind. As you exhale, you unwind, hands frame out the left foot at the top of the mat, straighten out through the left leg, half split, Ardha Hanumanasana. Left toes pull back, left hip pulls back. Get tall through the crown of the head, reaching crown of the head forward, and then your exhale softens you into the stretch, heart over the left thigh. Drop the weight of the head. As you inhale, bend into the left knee, setting the hips forward, upper body lifts, palms come to touch, Anjaneyasana, lift up and out of the waist. As you exhale, we're headed towards forward fold at the top of the mat, hands down, right foot steps to meet the left. Forward fold, Uttanasana. In breath, halfway lift, lengthen through the spine, crown of the head reaches forward, exhale, fold, let it go. In breath, halfway lift one more time, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, let it go. In breath brings you all the way to stand. Arms sweep up and over at the top, palms come to touch, gaze to the fingers. As you exhale, cactus out the arms, open up the heart. In breath, reach through the fingertips, tall through the spine. As you exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. As you exhale, fold, plant, hand, step back, plank pose. Lower halfway, elbows hug the ribcage. We hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All the way to the belly. Untuck the toes, hands come wide, tent the fingers. In breath, lift the heart. Glutes engage. As you exhale, roll the heart all the way back down. Slide hands under shoulders, tuck onto toes. Knees can stay down if you need. We press up chaturanga, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2. Plank pose, press all the way up. Roll the hips back, downward facing dog. Take an inhale and an exhale. Come up onto toes, bend into knees this time as you exhale. Step, walk, or hop the feet, top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, let it go. In breath, rise, come all the way to stand, arms reach up and over, gaze to fingers. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. In breath, halfway lift, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, fold, plant the hands. See if you can hop straight to your chaturanga, meaning by the time the toes hit the back of the mat, the elbows bend. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This time pull through upward facing dog, rolling to the tops of the toes, knowing you can always choose baby cobra, come to the belly instead. Exhale, roll over the toes, then the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Onto the toes, bend into the knees. Exhale, feet to the top of the mat. In breath, halfway lift. Exhale, let it go. In breath, rise, come all the way to stand. Arms sweep up and over, palms touch. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. In breath, halfway lift, lengthen spine. As you exhale, fold, plant hands, shift weight into the hands. By the time the toes hit the back of the mat, elbows are bent. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull through upward facing. Out breath brings the hips up and back, downward facing dog. 1 more round. Bend into the knees. Feet to the top of the mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, move it through. Inhale, rise all the way to stand. Arms up and over as you bring gaze high. Exhale, dives you right back down, forward fold, Uttanasana. In breath, halfway lift. Exhale, fold, plant the hands, hop back, chaturanga, elbows bend by the time the toes meet the back of the mat. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull through upward facing. Exhale, downward dog, roll over the toes and the hips up and back. In breath, right toe sweep high, bend the knee, open the hip. Exhale, curl in, knee to nose, step the right foot through. Left hand stays down as you reach right fingertips forward and then up, find your twist. Ground into the right heel as you come all the way to stand, keep the twist to the right. Soften the left knee to a hover. Squeeze the feet towards each other on the mat. 1 more exhale to twist even a little bit deeper. Soften knee all the way to the mat as you reach right hand towards left ankle or shin or foot or maybe along the thigh, left arm reaches up and over. As we come out of the back bend, this time come back to your twist, arms reach long. Lift left knee, come back to a hover. Maybe you send the hips back a little bit, give yourself a little bit of space to wind up. We're coming forward into our reverse half moon, kick off of the left toes to sweep the left foot high, dropping left hand either to floor or block or to a hover as the right fingertips circle up and over. Get strong in the right heel, left toes lift even a little higher. As you exhale, rebend into the right knee, left toes step back, pivot, open, warrior 2 to the left. So right foot is forward, left foot is parallel to the back edge of the mat, and the gaze is over the right middle finger. Sink a little deeper into the right knee. On your inhale, shift to the left toes, squaring left hip and left shoulder to the top of the mat. High crescent lunge. Lift up and out of the waist. Turn the pinky edge of the hands towards each other. As you exhale, bend into the elbows, cactus out the arms, pulling the elbows towards the hip bones as you traction the heart through. Palms come to touch at the heart as you release the back bend and reach the crown of the head forward. In breath, back to the cactus, open up the heart, tilt the elbows up towards the sky, and then exhale, palms come to touch at the heart, reach the crown of the head forward. 1 more time, in breath opens you up. Exhale, curls you in, and pause here. Bend a little deeper into the right knee, refill the lungs, big inhale. As you exhale, twist to the right. Left elbow meets the right knee. You're pressing elbow into knee, knee back into elbow to traction the heart open to the right. Start to shift weight into the right foot. It's either one big step or a couple little ones to step the left foot next to the right at the top of the mat, twisted chair pose. Keep the twist. Come onto the toes, let the heels lift. Sink the heels back down to the mat. 2 more times, shift to the toes, let the heels lift. Release, heels to the floor. 1 more time, shift to the toes, let the heels lift. Drop the hips to the heels, we're still in the twist. You can either stay right here or you can plant the hands to the right side of the mat, side crow. So my right knee is staying connected to the left elbow as I lean my heart forward but keep my collarbones open. Bring the gaze forward, maybe the feet lift. Could play with other variations with the legs if you wanted. Think of squeezing elbows towards each other and keeping the heart open and the gaze forward. If you're in your side crow, take your time playing. We're going to come out the way that we came in. High onto the toes, heels are lifted. Find the twist. Left elbow to right knee. Keep the heart open. Once we've met here, so finding this shape as a meeting point, and then as you inhale, keep everything else the same but release the twist. Palms come to touch at the heart. Drop the heels to the floor. Drop the hips to the floor. Low boat pose, heels and heart to an inch above the mat. High boat. Wow, we got spicy real quick here. Low boat. High boat. Low boat. High boat. Low boat. High boat. Low boat. One more time. High boat, come up. Pause. Get tall through the crown of the head. We're going to plant the feet back down to the mat. With or without the help of the hands, lift the hips. Come back up high onto the toes. So heels are lifted. Squeeze inner thighs together. Squeeze knees together. Bring the palms to touch at the heart. Keeping high onto the toes, we're going to play with lifting the hips and diving the heart forward, drinking bird. As high onto the toes as you can. Heels are lifted. Gaze is towards the top of the mat. If you need to bring the hands to the floor for support at any point, of course, please do. Take an inhale. Drop the heels to the floor as you exhale, let it go. Roll to stand, coming up the spine, one vertebrae at a time. Circle the arms up and over, palms touch, gaze to the fingers. Exhale, cactus out the arms, open up the heart. In breath, tall through the spine, reach through the fingers. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. As you exhale, fold, plant the hands, hop to your chaturanga, toes to the back of the mat, elbows bend, pause. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull through upward facing. We're gonna switch it up this time. Find your upward facing dog, engage into the glutes. If you wanna be a little playful here, a little extra spicy, we're gonna roll back to our chaturanga. So rebend into the elbows, roll over the toes, lower halfway. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Plank pose, press up. Roll the hips back. Downward facing dog. Take an inhale and an exhale. We get to do it all again. On your inhale, sweep the left toes high. Bend the knee, open up the hip. Exhale, round through the back body as the left knee pulls in, step the left foot through. Right hand stays grounded as you reach left fingertips forward first and then roll the left shoulder open on top of right. Keep the left palm facing down towards the mat. Ground into the left heel, get light into the right hand. As you're ready for it, on an inhale, we come all the way to stand. Find your open twist to the left, right fingertips forward, left fingertips back. Bend a little deeper into the left knee. Keep twisting the heart to the left. Soften the right knee to a hover above the floor. Right knee just an inch above the mat. Squeeze the feet towards each other on the mat. Take an inhale. As you exhale, soften the right knee all the way to the floor. Left hand reaches back as the right fingertips lift up and over. Think of lifting up and out of the waist rather than simply leaning back here. If you've got space for it, a little deeper bend into the left knee, sending the hips forward to encourage length down the front of the right hip. Right fingertips lift up and out and back. As you inhale, we're coming out the way that we came in. So come back to this open twist. Right fingertips forward, left fingertips back. Tuck onto the right toes, lift the right knee just to a hover. Tuck the tailbone down, get long through the tailbone. Maybe you shift the upper body back a little bit. On your exhale, a big shift all the way to your reverse half moon, kicking off of the right toes. Right hand either to the floor, to a block, or to a hover. But whatever shape you land in, for a moment, focus on the twist of the upper body. So rotating the right shoulder underneath the left one and the left one open, and then maybe lift the right toes even a little bit higher. The next shape we're moving towards is our warrior two. Take time in the shapes between the shapes, meaning that we slow bend into the left knee, step the right toes back, pivot open, Virabhadrasana 2. Right foot is flat, parallel to the back edge of the mat. Fingertips reach long in both directions. Imagine that someone was standing, holding onto each hand and playing tug-of-war on the hands here. One more exhale to soften, meet the shape. As you inhale, high crescent, shift to the right toes. Shift the right hip and right shoulder forward. Fingertips reach up and over. Exhale, cactus out the arms, open up the heart. Pull the elbows towards the hip bones and press the back of the right thigh up towards sky. In breath, release the back bend, shift forward with the upper body. Bring palms all the way to touch at the heart space, thumbs towards sternum. In breath, cactus out the arms, open up the heart. Peek the elbows up towards the sky. The backs of the palms rotate down towards the mat. Exhale, palms gather at heart center. Reach crown of the head forward. Bend a little deeper into left knee. Last one, in breath, opens you up. Shoulders reach towards each other on the back body. Elbows pull up towards sky. Exhale, curl in. Palms touch at the heart space. Pause. Take an in breath here. As you exhale, twist to the left. Right elbow meets the left knee. So you're pressing elbow into knee, knee back into elbow to roll the left shoulder open on top of right, finding the depth of your twist. Start to shift your weight into the left foot. It might be one big step, it might be a couple little ones, it might be wobbly or it might be smooth, but eventually we meet right foot next to left foot at the top of the mat for your twisted chair pose. Right elbow, left knee. Keep the twist. Shift your weight into the toes, getting as high onto the toes as you can as you lift the heels. Sink the heels back down. 2 more times, rotate the heart open even a little more. Shift to the toes, let the heels lift. As you bring the gaze up towards sky, you might be testing balance a little bit more. Shift the heels back to the mat. Last time, weight into the toes, lift the heels. Keep the twist, drop the hips to the heels at the top of the mat. Again, you have options here. You can stay exactly as you are. I'm shifting to the left just so you can see me a little bit more, but you do not need to change your orientation at all. You could plant the hands shoulder width distance off to the left. Left elbow meets the right knee. I'm shifting forward, heart forward, but keeping the collarbones open as I lift the toes. Maybe you play with another variation of the legs. And whenever you're ready to make the transition out, make the transition back to that same space where we're high onto the toes. We're in the twist, right elbow meets left knee, and palms are to touch. Okay, release the twist. Palms come to touch at the heart space. Get tall through the spine. You know what's coming. We're gonna drop the heels to the floor, the hips to the floor. Low boat pose, extend the legs long. This time, palms come to touch at the heart. It wouldn't be a strong twisty practice without this. Let's come up high boat. As you do, twist to the right. Left elbow meets right knee. Back low boat. Exhale up, twist left. Back low boat. Up and twist to the right. Low boat. Up and twist to the left. Low boat. One more each side, right. Low boat. Last time, twist left. Low boat. Up through the center, high boat. Feet to the floor, with or without the help of the hands. Lift the hips, roll high onto the toes, letting the heels lift. Okay, stay on the toes if you can as you bring palms to touch at the heart. Play with lifting the hips towards the sky as you reach the heart towards the top of the mat. Drinking bird. Using your next exhale, let the heels soften to the floor, forward fold, hands release to the mat, crown of the head releases down. Inhale, roll to stand. One vertebrae at a time, come all the way up. Arms sweep up and over, palms come to touch, gaze to fingers. As you exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. In breath, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold, plant hands. Hop back, chaturanga, toes to the back of the mat, elbows bend. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and pull through upward facing. Collarbones broaden. Again, your choice. You could go straight back to down dog here, or you could get a little bit spicier with me. Back into your chaturanga, elbows bend, roll over the toes, lower half, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Plank pose, press up. Roll the hips back, downward facing dog. One more time, last side for this whole sequence. A little bit quicker, we'll add a little bit on. Right toes lift. Right knee to nose, step the right foot through. Right fingertips circle forward and then up as you exhale. Ground into the right heel. Come all the way to stand. Keep the twist to the right. Left knee to a hover. Squeeze the feet towards each other on the mat. Soften the left knee all the way down as you find your reverse right hand anywhere it lands along the left shin, ankle, thigh. Left fingertips reach up and over. Come back through your twist. Fingertips reach long. Ground into the feet. Lift the left knee to a hover. Squeeze the feet towards each other. You might lean the upper body back a little. And then as you exhale, reverse half moon, shift weight into the right foot. Left toes lift. Option this time to bend into the left knee. Reach right hand to the left toes. And if you get the grip, find a little bit of a kick into the hand. If you've got the grip on the hand, we're going to release it. Stay grounded in the right foot. Inhale, come all the way to stand this time. Left knee into the chest. Left foot flexes out. Bring palms to touch at the heart. As you exhale, twist upper body to the left using the strength of the core. In breath, back through center. 2 more times, exhale, twist left. In breath, back through center. Last one, exhale, twist left. Reach the arms long in both directions. Option to pause here. Maybe you extend left leg, tapping left big toe to the right palm. And then unravel back to your warrior 2. Right knee bends, step the left foot all the way to the back of the mat. Get long through the fingertips, get tall through the spine, bend a little deeper into the right knee. Meet the bottom of your exhale. As you inhale, high crescent, shift to the left toes. Hips and shoulders square to the top of the mat. Inhale, fill up. Exhale, cactus out the arms, open up the heart. Inhale, palms touch at heart center, reach the crown of the head forward. We're pausing here this time. As you exhale, twist to the right. Left elbow meets the right knee, rotate the heart open to the sky. Shift your weight into the right foot. Left foot meets the right at the top of the mat. This time we're gonna pause here. See if you can hover the left elbow off of the right knee, just an inch. So you're using the strength of the core to find the twist. Keep the legs as they are. Bring palms to touch at heart center. Reach the fingertips forward. Pull the rib cage in, but lift the thumbs as high as you can. As you exhale, cactus out the arms, shoulders down, the back body, elbows pull towards the hip bones. In breath, extend long through the fingertips. Ground through the heels, come all the way to stand. Palms touch, open up the heart. As you exhale, dive forward, Uttanasana, find your fold. In breath, halfway lift and lengthen. As you exhale, fold, plant the hands, hop back, chaturanga, toes to the back of the mat, elbows bend. Pause here, we're switching it up a little bit. Press up to your plank pose. Roll to the outside edge of the right foot, inside edge of the left foot as you circle left fingertips up and over, rolling left shoulder on top of the right. Option to stay here. If you need to modify, left foot to the floor about halfway up the mat. If you want a little bit more spice, as you exhale, left elbow and left knee pull towards each other. And then extend, left leg, left arm long. Exhale, curl in. In breath, extend long. Keep the left arm long. Exhale, left knee pulls towards left armpit. Step the left foot all the way to the top of the mat. Keep the twist with the upper body. Movement pattern should feel familiar, just a little bit of a different shape. Exhale completely. Soften the right knee to the floor. Come all the way back up. Last time here. Left hand to the right leg, wherever it lands. Right fingertips up and over. A little bit longer in this shape. Send the hips forward. Left knee forward. Right fingertips reach up and out. As you exhale, hands frame out the left foot at the top of the mat. Straighten through the left leg, half split. Option to take this towards full split if that is in your practice, or anywhere in between half and full split that is available for you. Think of inviting left hip back, right hip forward, get tall through the spine, and then meet the shape with your breath. So imagine that you could send the breath to the places in the body where you feel sensation, which is likely happening in the left hamstrings, maybe the front of the right hip. If the sensation is in the knees, check that you're not overstretching or overextending at the joint space. Soft bend into the knees. subtle engagement into the hamstrings. If you've gone towards your half split, past your half split towards your full split, we're gonna make our way back. Slide the left heel back. Rebend into the left knee. Plant into the hands as you kick back, three-legged down dog. Bend into the left knee, open up the hips. Stay here or take it all the way to Wild Thing. Left toes could drop behind you, left fingertips reach. If you've got Wild Thing to wheel and you feel ready to go there, that is also a place you could take it. Again, let it be your practice and take some really honest check-ins with yourself about how deep you have the capacity to go in this moment. Inhale unwinds you. Come back to your downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. And then ripple forward, find your plank pose. You could either take this through a vinyasa of your choice or send the hips straight back, downward facing dog. All right, my friends, that whole crazy thing one last time, and then we slow things way down. On an in-breath, left toe sweep high, bend the knee, open the hip. Exhale, curl in, left knee to nose, step the left foot through. Right hand stays as you reach left fingertips forward and then up and over, left shoulder to stack on top of right. Ground into left heel, lift the upper body, keep the twist, reach through the fingers. Bend into the right knee, let it hover an inch from the mat, squeeze the feet towards each other. Soften the right knee all the way down as you extend left fingertips back towards wherever they land along the right leg, right fingertips up and over. If you've got space, bend the left knee a little bit farther forward, sending hips a little bit farther forward. As you inhale, we release the back bend, but keep the twist, reach arms in both directions. Tuck on the right toes, lift the right knee to a hover, tuck the tailbone down, strong through the core, maybe shift upper body back a little, and then as you exhale, reverse half moon, weight into the left foot, right toes lift. Right hand to block or floor or hover. Shift left shoulder open a little bit more. Maybe you bend into the right knee and reach left hand for the right toes, just as an option. If you get the grip on the foot, find a little bit of a kick. If you've got the foot, just as gently as you grabbed it, let's release. Grounding into left heel this time. On an inhale, we come all the way to stand. Right knee into the chest, palms come to touch at the heart. Get really tall through the spine, flex out the right toes. As you exhale, twist to the right. In breath back through center. Exhale, twist right. In breath back through center, thumbs at sternum. Exhale, your deepest twist of all of practice, twist right. Keep the twist, extend arms long in both directions, palm face down, both palms face down. Option to extend the right leg, maybe you tap the right big toe to the left palm. We're stepping all the way back, warrior two, as you sweep the right leg back, bend into the left knee, right foot plants parallel to the back edge of the mat, send the left kneecap forward. Imagine you could reach the left knee to the top left corner of the mat. Meet the bottom of your exhale. Meet your capacity in this shape. And then as you inhale, shift to the right toes, high crescent lunge, hips and shoulders square to the top of the mat. Exhale, cactus out the arms, open up through the heart, shoulder blades reach for each other on the back body. Palms to touch at heart center as you extend crown of the head forward. Lift back of the right thigh to touch the sky. Send the left kneecap farther forward. As you take your next exhale, twist to the left. Right elbow meets left knee. Elbow presses into the knee, knee presses back into the elbow to traction the heart open. Start to shift your weight forward into the left foot, either one big step or a couple little ones. Right foot meets the left foot at the top of the mat. Find your twisted chair pose. Again, pressing elbow into knee, knee back into elbow, shift the heart open. Pause for a moment. As you take your next inhale, we're keeping the chair pose, keeping everything really the same, but see if you can hover the right elbow off of the left knee. Sink the hips a little bit lower. Send the kneecaps a little farther forward. And then release the twist. Keep the chair, palms come to touch at the heart. Ground into the heels. Come all the way to stand. Palms touch overhead. Open up the heart. Exhale, cactus out the arms. In breath, extend. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. In breath, halfway lift and lengthen. As you exhale, fold, plant the hands, hop to your chaturanga, toes hit the back of the mat. By the time they do, the elbows are bent. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Plank pose, press up. Shift to the outside edge of the left foot, inside edge of the right, as you rotate the right fingertips towards the top of the mat. Lengthening out down the right side body. Again, to modify here, you could plant the right foot about halfway up the mat. Your options, stay here, or as an exhale, right knee and right elbow reach towards each other, bending into both, but fighting to keep the right hip and the right shoulder open on top of the left. Inhale, extend long. Exhale, curl in, right elbow, right knee, reach towards each other. In breath, extend long, keep the right arm long as you pull right knee back up towards right armpit, keep rolling right shoulder open. Either one big step or a couple little ones, right foot all the way to the top of the mat, keep the twist to the right with the upper body. Rolling right shoulder open, soften the left knee down to the mat as you lift from the back of the heart, keep the twist to the right. Right hand reaches for left thigh, left shin, calf, left ankle, left heel, wherever it lands. Reach the left fingertips up and over. Think of lifting up and out of the waist rather than just leaning back. And then once you've met a shape that feels pretty accessible, you might bend a little deeper into the right knee, sending the hips forward a bit. If at any point it's too much for the low back, then it's too much for the low back. Back out of the shape. Take one more full cycle of breath. You might bring the gaze up towards the sky. I want the unwind here to be slow and mindful as we get weighty in the right heel and in the left knee and in the left toes. Strong in the core so that you can lift up out of the twist. Arms reach long in both directions and then circle the hands to frame out the right foot at the top of the mat. Next, exhale, straighten the right leg, half split, Ardha Hanumanasana. Right toes pull back, right hip pulls back. Inhales to lengthen the spine, exhales to soften you into the stretch, knowing that you can stay right here, or you could slide the right leg forward a bit, left leg back a bit, finding your way anywhere between half and full splits into whatever shape feels available, but stretchy with sensation. We want to think of keeping the hips pretty squared, hips and shoulders squared off to the top of the mat. So if you feel yourself really pivoting open to the left, it's a sign that you could back out of the depth a little bit, re-square up. So shift the right hip and right shoulder back, and then meet your capacity of the shape from that place. Take a couple big breaths here. Knowing that as we spend more time in these shapes, longer time in any particular hold, it might be that throughout your time holding, that more space becomes available to you. You can use your exhales to soften into it. Last cycle of breath or so. And replanting into the hands. We're going to journey our way back out. If you've gone towards full split, let's slide back to a half split, Ardha Hanumanasana. Rebend into the right knee. Plant into the foot. Upper body lifts, Anjaneyasana, just to unwind us from the shape. As you exhale, hands back to the top of the mat. Kick back, three-legged down dog, lifting the left knee. Lift the right leg, bend into the right knee, open the hip. Either stay here or roll open towards your wild thing, right toes behind you. Drive the hips up towards the ceiling as you roll right shoulder onto back body. And if you wanted to take your wild thing to a wheel pose, if that's in your practice, you could, or any other variations of your wild thing that you'd like to take. As you're ready for it, and I'm not rushing you there, so take your time playing. As you're ready, we're making our way back towards a down dog. Right hand plants, right toes plant. Ripple the spine forward. Find your plank pose, wrists underneath the shoulders. Last time here, bend into the elbows, lower half. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pull through upward facing. On your exhale, downward dog, roll over the toes and the hips up and back. Kicking heels towards the floor. Pull the heart towards the thighs. As much of a bend in the knees as you need for your down dog to feel good. And then soften the knees to the floor. Untuck the toes. Let the hands rest on the thighs as you close down the eyes, letting body know that we're slowing things down and we're going to make our way pretty quickly to the end of practice. Take a big inhale. Open mouth, exhale, let it go. One more time, big in. Open mouth, exhale, move it through. We're going to shift down to our back bodies. If there's any shapes you'd like along the way, you're welcome to go there. But eventually crossing over the ankles, dropping to the seat. Making your way all the way down. Pull the knees in towards the chest once you're down. Maybe a little shift side to side. And keep the right knee in as you extend left leg to the top of the mat. Right arm out to a cactus or T, and then exhale, find your twist. Right knee over the left side of the body. Imagine that the right shoulder blade was a paperweight, and it's just keeping you that much more connected to the support beneath you. Inhale, come back through center. Swap it out, left knee pulls in, right leg reaches long. Back of the right thigh reaches down towards the mat as the left thigh pulls in. Left arm out to a cactus or a T. Use your exhale to find your twist. Left knee over the right side of the body. Again, imagining that the left shoulder blade was a paperweight. So it's just a little bit of extra weightiness to root you down, knowing that when the left shoulder stays connected to the mat, the twist can work its way throughout the spine. Inhale, center, unwind, left knee in, right knee in. At this point, it is any last movements that you would like before settling into Shavasana. So if you wanted one last back bend, we're certainly warmed up for one more wheel pose. If you wanted a shoulder stand or a different inversion. As you land here, roll the shoulders underneath you a bit, like you're scooping up the back of the heart. Arms are out by the sides and allow for the fingers to naturally curl in towards the center of the palms. Toes drop out towards the corners of the mat. The bottom, well, top corners, kind of irrelevant. Toes reach out towards the corner of the mat that they're nearest. Land here with your fullest breath in that you've taken yet in all of today's practice. And then open the mouth, exhale, let it go. Letting yourself unwind back into the stillness and back into the pause that is Shavasana. Knowing that I'm going to leave us here in a moment for a bit of silence. And I'll leave us here for today's practice. If and when you're ready to transition out, make it slow and gentle and sweet, so as not to rush this part of your practice. Don't let now be the part where you rush. Notice as we unwind here, if there's anywhere in the body that you're holding, can you soften the jaw? You soften the muscles in the shoulders or the hips. And if the mind wanders, invite it back to the breath. And I'll leave us here for today's practice. Thanks for moving with me.